Scenes and sources.
Scenes and sources. Okay.
Yeah, it's about a 3 or 4 year old laptop, and over time it got slow.
Here's what started this big mess. Windows 365.
Yeah, sir, I tried that, but it's not working same, sir. I put your mail across, stating that
Quite annoying. And most of the time that I try to use my computer, I'm plagued with pop-ups.
Is that the only way that you can run the new Office web-based programs?
Is somebody starting to snore?
You're boring, Doug. Sorry.
That was also a take 3 on that trailer intro. I started out with calling out take 3 because take 1 and take 2 didn't work right. Well, this was 3 times trying to start the live stream today. Jiminy Christmas. I think you got a bunch of audio overlapping. I'm not really seeing that, I don't, in chat. Is this thing on? Do you hear me? SpeakerBot should be alive and well. And SpeakerBot messages came out when the stream actually started. So those are no longer repeating. No longer have to turn them on. Audio level low. My microphone audio graphic analyzer says I'm fine. Check your audio on your side, Greg M.
Ken Stout Live said overlapping, maybe echo.
Was there echoing? Yeah. I used the wrong word. Ken's better with words than I. Wait a minute. What? Say that. Randy Israel heard echoing during the intro. Now your audio is cutting off occasionally. Let's see. So
Houston,
I'm probably talking a little softer. John Williams, what problem are you reporting? The echo has disappeared, according to Lawn Dog. Is this even working? Yeah, that worked. All right. Hitting other buttons here. I guess I just got too much stuff going on. Come over here to chat and hit some jokes. Funny trailer. That's two fish swim into concrete wall. The one turns to the other and says, "Damn." That one's not a joke. Keith, I arrived too early to the restaurant. The manager said, "Do you mind waiting a bit?" I said, "No." "Good," he said. "Take these drinks to table 9. I think that's all the jokes that I saw. All right, so I'm gonna go to next item, which is what? Go over here, look at this. Channel comments. Channel comments. Summer Tawan regarding the how to upgrade Windows 10 Home to Windows 10 Pro. This is what I'm looking for. I will try it later. I have the same problem. So he hasn't actually tried this solution yet. Lots of people have been reporting that that solution works. Nobody reporting that it didn't work for them, I don't think. Oiscog, which is Oystein. He's zooming that in, right? According to the website, the original price seems to be US dollars $5.95 for the small size, US dollars $6.45 for the 3X size. Now it's $415 for both of them. That was the leather jacket we were talking about yesterday. And I showed you briefly. Let's see, I wonder, do I dare try to pull this up? US Wings is what it was called. I pulled up and showed you the email of my original purchase, but I didn't point out the date of that. Yeah, I'm not finding it right off the bat. Movie Jack, Bob Cruty. Let's go for Bob Cruty. I was looking to see how much I actually paid, and I never finished getting to that. Yeah, it was August 19th, 2011. So I will try to remember to look up how much I actually paid for that. Is the audio working okay now? I'm just taking a glance at recent chat messages. Looks okay. Nobody's reporting problems. Now, channel comments. Finish up that one from Oystein. Oystein watches often enough that I don't think I need to send him a timestamp reply. And Summer Tuan, I will send him a timestamp reply afterwards. Summer Tuan, what we do here is we take questions 6 days a week, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific time, Saturdays, 11 a.m.
Ken Statliv said
Pacific
for the
time.
18th time, audio is fine.
Thank you, Ken. And you can send a question by email or put a comment on any video or ask in the chat room. We will try to give you an answer, or we will blow smoke your way, as one of my bumpers song says. Yeah, but we will work with you, trying to help with any issue you're coming across, whether you're an end user or a technician. Any way works. So hope to see you around. Summer Tuan. Then I next gonna go to checking where I need to go next. I kind of got a thing that guides me through, so I don't have to stumble my way through. Oh yeah, chat responses, chat rooms. I've got 2 chat emails because I missed one a couple days ago, so I'm going to go ahead and catch that. Some of these have already been dealt with, sort of. Josh is telling me about Update Tuesday, and we made some adjustments to how that notice gets to me. Brian Lightfoot, I'm reading a horror. Oh, another joke here. I'm reading a horror story in Braille. Something bad is going to happen. I can just feel it. Did you know that dogs can't operate MRI machines, but cats can? Here we got Ran Israel about triple channel memory access. So we had dual mode and we had quad mode. And I said there is no such thing as triple channel. And he says, yeah, there was with the X58 chip, circa 2008, not anymore. So that's interesting. So my understanding, and I haven't researched this subject, my understanding is dual mode is going to be kind of splitting the communications between the CPU and the memory over 2 channels. So they're going to separate memory boards for the same communication. Quad channel will be doing the same thing, but using 4 lanes. Think of it as lanes of traffic on a highway. So the dual channel, it's splitting up between 2 or pairing them to 2. I'm thinking in kind of paired fashion. Quad, I was thinking kind of double paired fashion. Triple, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't seem right that it would. I guess it might be splitting a single communication into 3, sending it through 3 lanes. So I guess that could be done. Could be a thing. Wintermute was saying, if you're a premium subscriber, you can go here and disable the new watch page, and that did not work. We talked about that the other day, but this was Wintermute putting it into chat, and I had not called that out. And all of this stuff on the youtube.com/new is for premium members, but that feature that got turned on for Chris Garrett, he was not able to come in here and turn it off. And we already did discuss that. And that feature is no longer available in here.
There are 2 modes, ganged and unganged. In ganged mode, it's 1 wide channel. In unganged mode, it's multiple independent 64-bit channels. How many there are?
Very good. Very good. There's some obviously research detail or just knowledge detail. There are 2 modes, ganged and unganged. In ganged mode, it's 1 wide channel. Okay, so I'm imagining, let's see if that gets up high enough. I can turn this back on so I can use my hands. Ganged mode, 1 wide channel. So sending a bunch of traffic down 1 just wide channel, not really thinking of it as separate lanes. Unganged mode, it's multiple independent 64 channels, how many there are. So that, I guess that's where you could have the triple channel, as if they're independent. But why not with 1 wide channel? Why couldn't it be 3 wide? Triple wide? Mobile home, anybody? Greg M says, I'm not a YouTube Premium, and YouTube shoved that new UI onto my other YouTube account. Yeah, if you're a YouTube Premium, you can come in here to explore these features, turn them on and off. That did not necessarily mean that that feature was only being pushed out to premium. So this is where we get a confirmation that Greg M on a non-premium channel, he got that pushed out onto his other YouTube account. Now, Greg, I have a question for you. Greg M, is that channel, since that was only through July 8th for premium people to be able to turn on and off, is that still on that way for you? And if you want to revert back, you can send a message to, the only way that I've seen that people have reported as being successful is to go to, when do I want to go here? I'll do it on this one. Go to your profile icon, scroll down to send feedback, and ask them in here to switch you back to the old style watch page, called the watch page. That's how they will recognize what you want. And other people have reported that has worked for them. Now, I discovered another feature about it that I really like. Let's to demonstrate this feature. As I told you the other day, I'm stuck with it now because I turned it on. They didn't shove it to me. I turned it on to try it out. I want to go into view my channel, not the current stream, and go look at a prior stream that has chat room available. I discovered this by accident this morning. Here's the new watch page showing with chat on the right, and which that's where it would be for the normal window anyway. But the big thumbnails down here instead of comments, and description is not down here. To get to description, you have to close the chat replay and see the description here. You can expand it here. I haven't got to the new feature yet, or the newly discovered feature. And then if I want to get back to chat, click on show chat replay here, and that gets me back to chat. But here's the thing that I discovered. What normally happens when you click here to go full screen? I'm sure many of you experience that. You click full screen and it goes full screen, but it is different with the new watch page experience. Watch this. Click there. I get a larger watch screen, but I still get the chat on the right. It's still available to me here in full screen mode. What if I don't want the chat on the right? Thank you very much. Well, I can just close this, and now I've got that video playing in the normal full screen mode. If I click on this thing down in the bottom right corner to go back to the smaller view and then go again to the full screen, I do not get chat. How do I get chat back on the right if I want that in the full screen mode? So I go back to here, refresh the page. There might be some other way to get to that. I'm not sure. So then do that. And now I got chat on the right. I'm going to try one other variation that just occurred to me. Close the chat window. So now I got this big window. Make it, yeah. Show chat replay. Maybe that's all I need to do here. Show chat replay here, and then go to full screen mode. Sure enough, that gets it back on the right. So I'm still, jury is out for me as far as whether I want to stay with this, but I'm kind of thinking more likely going to stay with this than not. Okay. Then back to another chat message. Oh yeah, and I responded to this one already where the comment was made, Crystal Dismart tests disks, not memory. Yeah, test the speed of disks, but the thing that I was seeing there is that when I had a different memory configuration, when I only had one memory module in place, I was getting a much higher speed test with Crystal Dismart. However, subsequent to that, I realized through our conversations together that higher speed test with one memory module was when I had my NVMe board in the DIMM.2 riser. And my subsequent tests were with my NVMe board in the motherboard's M.2 slot. So my claims back then about speed was slower when I had more memory boards in place. Jury's out on that. Yeah, Greg M. Sai, YouTube users want this without warning shoved on them. What? Sai, No, I think maybe there's a typo in that. Take a closer, better look at this. Yeah, YouTube users want this without warning shoved on them. That's okay, sarcasm, right? That's what he meant. That's a sarcastic. It's hard to pull off sarcasm in text. Nothing like having this change when you go to see a live stream and stuff no longer works as expected. Wintermute to Greg, is this what you did or something different? Maybe that's from another conversation. So I'm not going to go down that squirrel route yet. I'm going to stick with my next thing here. Chris Garrett was saying the original song was better. That was from the trailer yesterday. I don't think it's not Statler Brothers. No. I'm sorry, I forgot the Elvira song. Yeah, the original song was better. Chris, the problem with that, and for everybody else, is these trailers that I just enjoyed doing with showing different kinds of stuff. The older songs, there is no good videos for them in their original sound. There's videos available that have the original sound, but they don't have a good music video with them using the original band member. So yeah, most all cases, when I'm showing the senior band members, singers, the song comes out differently, but the original productions just don't have good visuals with them. And I've tried exploring taking the old audio and putting it onto the newer video, and they just don't line up. So that doesn't work. Chris Garrett, will you listen to me and fix it? Oh, will YouTube listen to me and fix it back? I think they will, because there were other people reporting in that on the comments on that video, and this is my reply to that. The comments on that video, other people said YouTube fix it for them. Chris Garrett says, I do pay for premium, so maybe they will. Yeah, that might put your request higher in the queue. My response, I think I saw during my investigation that the feature was only available for premium users. Not true. The feature was switchable for premium viewers. Premium viewers can go into that youtube.com/new to see the new features, turn them on and off. But as we've seen in today's chat, even if you don't have premium, it pushed that out to some people. Hopefully they would respond to requests to change it back, even if you're not a premium user. Although maybe that's their secret conspiracy theory motive MO to get you to pay for it. I don't know. Jeff to Chris, is it possible that it's controlled by a registry key that you could find and remove? No, it is not, because it affects all your desktop devices, including Apple Macs, with no install or update. And if you just switch to a different account, like I have my Fortnite account showing here, and here you see comments down on the bottom. So this is a different sub account on my main account. I have my personal account, which is my email address. That's how I log into YouTube. Then I have multiple branded accounts or sub accounts. And the sub account of Live Windows Training-DougBetts is the one that has the new layout. My other accounts have the old layout. I haven't checked all of them, but this one, it is based on my same one email address. And it's a different branded account, and it has the old layout. So not a registry key. How do you guys have the timestamps? I know that's already been answered for Lawn Dog, but I'll point that out for anyone else who might be wondering that. And let's do that over here on monitor 3. As you go to this triple dot menu, Bob menu, and choose turn timestamps on right there. Okay, I'll get rid of that picture-in-picture mess. Oh, there it is. Coming back where I was. What are the signs of an aging mother? Yeah. We talked about that. We answered the question for Alice yesterday, but I captured this in my chat email because I just liked this typo so much. What are the signs of an aging motherboard, Doug? Motherboard. And she corrected herself when she meant motherboard. I obviously saw that right away, but I kind of like that better. Motherboard. Mother of a board. Aye. What the heck is it with the circles? It's a pattern pattern interrupt. It's when somebody does the exclamation mark R. That's for random. When you do an exclamation mark R, there is a random selection of scenes that show up, and one of them is the circles. So that's all. And as far as why do I do those things? There's a thing called pattern interrupt. Like if a presenter on stage with a group of a live audience people giving some kind of lecture, if they do something to interrupt that pattern, such as have a dove fly across the stage in front of them, that'll wake the audience up and they'll say, hey, what? What's that? And I discovered yesterday the reason why some of those speaker bots weren't working at the beginning of the show is because there was a vanishing going on. Exclamation mark V takes longer to run, and the commands stack up. And so once the vanishing was done, then they started playing one after the other. Oh, what do we got here? Stormy. Stormy hits the scene, and she's one of the randoms as well. So I guess that was... Who did that one? Who brought Stormy to us? This must have been Brian's. It took quite a while after John Williams' Dove finished. It took quite a while, I think, before Brian's Stormy showed up. That was interesting. I'll check that out on playback. Brian Lightfoot, if you get stiff in the joints, then stay out of those joints. Another joke. If you get stiff in the joints, then stay out of those joints. I had an issue with B-Link, could not get it to boot into safe mode when using his wife. I'm sure he meant Wi-Fi. So what method, Greg M is in chat now. So tell us more about that. You had an issue. I'm suspecting you don't have that computer anymore. If I wanted to force a computer into safe mode, oh, there we go. There's a vanishing. So any other commands right now, they will get held until this one is finished. Yeah, can you give some more detail about that? I mean, one technique you could use is to power it on, bring it up into Windows and power it off. Just pull the plug, pull the power. Do that 3 times in a row, or do that while it's booting up. Go into repair mode, but you asked for safe mode. So I think what I would use for that would be msconfig. Don't we have that? I'm doing this with Windows 11. So then startup, you have selective startup, diagnostic startup. You could choose diagnostic startup. Oh, here's start. No, that's the startup items. What else do we have? Safe boot. Clicking here on safe boot. That would be the way, my choice of doing it. So you click on that, and timeout 30 seconds. I think it gives you, no, that timeout is for choosing between these different operating systems. But have you tried that method, Greg M? Oh, via remote access. The B-Link issue was via remote access. I can do that with, I want to bring that up. I probably don't need to bring it up, but with my Log Me and Rescue.
Live said this is truly asking for a friend. No name to be mentioned. GHETTO are the initials. But how are you doing the glass breaking?
All right, I'll get to that in a minute. Gonna stick with this subject for now. Squirrel. Squirrely mode.
Zvi Manor said misconfig safe mode with LAN.
Yeah, msconfig safe mode with LAN. Now what I do is in Log Me and Rescue, there's a button to click on to tell it to restart in safe mode with networking. So let's get back to msconfig on here and look at that. Boot, safe mode, network. Yeah. So, however, whatever method you're using to connect remotely might not be functional. Or you perhaps using remote desktop built into Windows? B-Link was via remote access. Yeah, what remote access? Because depending upon the remote access, it might not work in safe mode. If you're relying on a third-party remote access that has to launch that program when the computer restarts, and it's not going to be working, the remote software that you're using would have to be running as a system service, not as an application after startup. So maybe the remote connections software that you're using, look in the advanced options, perhaps. Maybe there's some place to run it as a system service rather than as an application on top of the logged in account. I have not had problems with other wired machines and AnyDesk forcing that machine into safe mode. Oh, that's right, it was on a Wi-Fi. So if that computer doesn't have the capability of loading its Wi-Fi drivers in safe mode, perhaps that's an issue. Other wired machines and AnyDesk is what he's using, forcing that machine into safe mode and being able to reboot it and still maintain your remote connection. So Greg already knows how to do that with the remote connection. But when you were using Wi-Fi and restarting the machine in safe mode, perhaps even with the networking option, it still didn't work. Likely because that computer in safe mode is not fully launching its Wi-Fi capabilities. That's my thoughts. Okay. That was the end of that email.
Ken Stout Live said not Squirrel, but Ken.
Got to get back to Ken's thing. Ken's question. How are you doing? Yep, that's what I concluded as well. Great. Not Squirrel, but Ken. What Ken was asking about the glass breaking, I found a YouTube video somewhere that had glass breaking green screen and downloaded that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that, but green screen glass breaking. B-R-E-A-K, such a Doug. Here, like there's one. So you pull that out and export
Ken
it.
Stoutlieb said funny, that is what I told him.
Export that with, your green screen alpha key, whatever that's called. And then apply it in OBS as a scene and turn it on when you want it turned on, or a source. Or put that into a video that you render out with whatever you want it to be breaking glass over. So funny, that is what I told him. Oh, that's what you told Ghetto as far as how to do that? That's what I'm putting 2 and 2 together to say that's what you're meaning to say. Matthew Barnes, let's see, which one I want to go here. I'm going to start out with his trader request for Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. I love rock and roll. And for those of you who saw the trailer, you know what happened. But I've added a new feature regarding trailers. If you go back and replay yesterday's trailer, I want to do this from YouTube.com and go to my channel. I'm going to bring up the show from yesterday. Yesterday is the only shows that I've done this on so far. I think I'm going to do this on a regular basis. Here's yesterday's show. If you go play this.
Al J said I just picked up an iPod Classic. Windows picked up straight away.
Oh, I'll get back to that in a minute, Alice. Notice this weird thing going on here. This is something going on with the new watch page layout and me being zoomed in. I tried to go to this video, and this chat window, I think from today, is this from today? No, this is yesterday's chat. It's just sticking up here real big. I can't see the video. So I'm going to zoom down and see if that'll fix it. Yeah, it did. That was weird. Okay, so here's yesterday's video playing. Up here in the upper right corner, there is a V card or video card. And if you click on that, it'll take you to the trailer for that day. So I'm going to start accumulating a way that you can actually see what trailer was played on that day. And then let's see if I can actually go into that, because there's something I want to show you in that trailer, I think. No, there's not. At the beginning of that trailer introduction, I'm actually introducing Joan Jett and that song, and I've got a V card in that video and a end screen in that video to let you go watch the video, because I can't show it to you. It's blocked. Copyright issues. But oh yeah, I start out saying it was take 3, and that's because take 1, I realized after I finished the mic was muted. Oh, doggone it. So then I go record it again. And I find that I finished take 2, I still had the microphone muted. So take 3. All right.
Ken Stoutlave said, such a Ken.
Oh, you think was that such a Ken thing to do? All right. Let's get to this next piece. So that was the piece at the beginning of Matthew Barnes' email about the trailer request. And yes, I do accept requests for trailers. Ideally, send me a link. That would be great. I'd love to have them, because yeah, I get really bored of selecting the same old stuff. But here, Matthew brings us a story, a problem. Now, let me caution you, don't go off searching for the solution. He's already solved it, but this is a great lesson in troubleshooting. I also have a story that, if you want to share on Windows Daily, if you like, is an example of me trying to fix a piece of tech that probably wasn't worth the effort, so here it goes. I disagree. I think it was worth the effort. At work, we have an elderly label printer, kind of walks around on a cane, you know, oxygen bottle. It's a Brother P-Touch 9500 PC. It would be interesting if somebody wants to put a link in chat for that so we see what he's working on. I haven't looked it up. Primarily used for printing asset tags that we stick on our computers to give users an easy way to identify the computer they are having trouble with when they log a help desk ticket with us. About 2 months ago, I was printing off a new set of around 80 labels, and after about 10 labels, it stopped printing. Zooming in more. Triple click, selects a whole paragraph if you did not know that. Usually when this happens, it's because the tape cartridge has run out. And as this happened at the end of the day, I decided to wait till the next day to replace the cartridge. He just assumed it's probably the cartridge. That's always what goes wrong with these. However, when I changed the cartridge, I noticed the error said tape cutter non-operative, I believe was the error. Something like that. Probably paraphrasing it. I tend to take errors that I'm told by tech with a grain of salt. Me too. As I'm sure you have found, they can often lead you in the wrong direction. Yes. However, you can make the mistake of getting too jaded. And after some error message takes you down the wrong path, you say, I'll never do that again. So you never believe any error message and you just go with your own wisdom. Careful. Changing the cartridge did not work. And every time I would try and print any labels off, I would get the same error. To clarify, printing of the labels is done in a piece of software by Brother called P-Touch Editor. And this was where the error was displayed. I have worked with that before, not extensively. But I want to go back here and point out tape cutter non-operative. Now, one of the reasons why we don't want to take error messages too literally is because that might have been the error message that the machine perceived. And it might have, that error might have been perceived by the machine because of something else that went wrong prior to that. So we already did this paragraph. Move this paragraph up so my picture's not covering it. I left our label printer for a while, stopped using it, and borrowed another one to print the labels I needed, but got bored of doing this. So it sounds like maybe multiple times he borrowed somebody else's. And decided today, July 10th, that was yesterday, that I would have a go at trying to fix our label printer. Good for you. You might wonder why we didn't buy a new label printer, and the only response I have is, I don't like being defeated by anything that doesn't work. Oh, you are a man after my heart. Or I don't, we're on the same page. I agree with you. I don't like being defeated. Even if it's a darn label printer. Also, I believe the new equivalent label printer would cost around 1,000 pounds. That's a pretty good, that's a significant price tag. That justifies putting some work into this. To cut a very long story short, I'm curious why it was a long story, because this should have not been a long story unless he didn't follow the error message. Use your smarts as a technician to maybe take the error message with a grain of salt, but don't completely ignore it. To cut a very long story short, after taking the label printer apart, I noticed two things. There were several small pieces of tape that I found around the tape cutter mechanism. What? Wait a minute. Didn't the machine just tell you tape cutter non-operative? The error message looked like it was right on point. Found the tape cutter mechanism and the turn wheel on the end of the motor shaft that powers the tape cutter. There was a small black ring wheel that was loose, so I pushed it back into the shaft and put the printer back together, and to my surprise it worked, and I can now print labels again. With this solution here and the error message that tells you the cutter was non-operative, tape cutter non-operative, I'm thinking the only reason why it was a long story is because you went down some other paths before investigating the actual error message. The lesson here, yeah, we affirm take error messages that devices give you with a grain of salt. Think about what else might have led up to that message being perceived by the machine, but don't totally ignore it. To do some level of checking it out. At some point, go try some Google searches. Somebody else, this might be a very recognizable and easy to search symptom. It is an art, not a science. Troubleshooting. Troubleshooting is not a science, it's an art. You'll make your choice of which path you're going to go trying to resolve a problem, largely based upon your personal experiences and what has worked out for you in the past and what has not worked out for you in the past. However, like the investment houses tell us, past performance does not guarantee future results. Or is it past results does not guarantee future performance? Something like that. I like to say this is the first time I probably should have cut my losses with a piece of tech that wasn't working, but I'd be lying. I would disagree with that. I think that was totally fixable and that you probably took a long time with it. In this case, this time, because you didn't follow the error message, what it was telling you soon enough. And you, no matter which way, next time if you follow the error message, it's going to waste your time that way. So the only way to say that you should have cut your losses, that you should have taken that strategy, is anytime something's not working or there's an error message, just replace it. Just replace it, no matter what it says. Are you even going to bother restarting the computer? No, something goes wrong, just replace the whole darn computer. Well, no, we can't do that. Sometimes you will spend more time chasing a problem and solve it than the device was worth. Sometimes you'll win and you'll fix it in a short amount of time. And what lesson do you take out of that? It's an art. You will find your own path. I gotta go. I need to put somewhere in my daily reminders. I gotta add another daily reminder to go check for somebody to redirect to, because I missed redirecting to Carrie Holzman yesterday. This is not a request, Ken Stout. Make that clear. Ken Stout, do you want me to send you an email with a clue as to what I was referring to yesterday? I got a very simple clue I could send you. Yeah, I don't see anything for me to redirect to. I got some alarms that are going to start ringing at me if I don't get out of here soon. Finished that. I finished that. Let's see what I got here. Yeah, I covered everything that was on my script. Is it a script? Ken says, yes, that would be helpful. How come I didn't hear SpeakerBot say that?
Ken Stout Live said, yes, that would
Oh,
be
there
helpful.
it is. Delay. And these are the circles. These are the circles somebody was asking for. I got to try to pop those. Well, they're not bubbles. Circles. I guess I can't pop them. Keith has a random also. When is that one going to come? That circle, was that Keith's circles? Yeah, John Williams did a random before Ken Stout's. That's why Ken Stout's comment didn't come through on SpeakerBot, because it was still busy with something that John Williams did. Keith says yes.
Yes, affirmative.
Yeah, I saw that on my screen for a while before it hit. All right, Ken, I will send you a very short, cryptic clue. I'll see if you can figure it out. I don't know if you can figure it out. You can click on this video to see how to get free support through this channel. You can watch this video, see how to get paid support from me directly. These are short videos. You can watch this video, see how to turbocharge your troubleshooting experience by watching this channel. And this video, some reason YouTube thinks will be a good video for you to watch next. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.